Good morning, everybody. You are listening to K-Talk Radio, 1640 AM. This is the show, Utah Home Sweet Home. I am your host, Yoshi Shiraki, and today we have two very special guests on the show, Randall Wall and his wife, Usha. And I want to thank them both so much for coming in. Randall Wall, for those of you who don't know, is probably the most successful fix and flipper I know nationwide. And I know a lot nationwide. I do national public speaking. I travel the country. I'm subcontracted through two different companies, one based out of Chicago, one based out of Canada. And I will travel and speak on stage on their behalf on fixing and flipping. And I've met a lot of big-time players, but none as big as Mr. Wall. And Randall is a very good friend of mine. He is my biggest mentor that I've had through my fixing and flipping career, so I feel forever in debt to him. He's shared enormous amounts of information with me, and not just me. Here's what's crazy. I know so many people that credit their success to this man right here. So it's not just me he's generous to. He's generous to so many people, and we're going to dive into his generosity. Him and his wife have a beautiful charity. We're going to talk about that, Eternal Hope Nepal, and it is phenomenal. We'll tell you all about it. You'll definitely need to check it out. It's a local charity here in Utah that is serving children in Nepal. So a little bit about Randall. I'm going to kind of have Randall share a little bit about his real estate career. And I know he's so humble. He's just like, oh, his resume is huge. Actually, that could take the whole hour. But, if you don't mind, you own equity, you fix and flip tons of houses, you've got a lot of agents. I mean, this is the pinnacle of a successful real estate profession, career, whatever you want to call it. Can you share a little bit about what you do?
Wow. Somebody told me once that I had business ADD.
Okay.
And so in real estate, we are the largest brokerage in Utah.
Nice.
15th largest in the country.
Wow.
And so we did about $4.5 billion in sales last year. We have a construction company. I've got 3 crews that run full time. We flip 12 to 15 homes at any given time.
My goodness.
Here locally, we build some new homes. I'm just trying to think. Oh, and I directly manage about 150 agents as a broker, and I closed 82 transactions last year.
Unbelievable.
So I don't sleep.
That's right. What is the secret to not sleeping?
Having a supportive wife who does everything for you.
Yes. That's so nice. Awesome. Randall, thank you for sharing that. I mean, seriously, if anyone is interested in getting involved in real estate investing, Randall is the president of the Salt Lake Real Estate Investing Association. I sat on the board for 5 years. It was probably 5 years ago, before my son was born. I was on the board for 5 years with you. And for anyone who's thinking about getting involved in that, I highly recommend Googling basically the acronym SLREIA, which stands for Salt Lake Real Estate Investing Association. So we call it SLREIA, SLREIA, SLREIA.com. So Google SLREIA and check it out and start attending our monthly, we actually have several monthly meetings where we meet for lunch, we meet for a nightly meeting. We have several luncheons, right?
Yeah,
3 luncheons throughout the month in different parts of town.
Yeah.
Roy, downtown in Midvale.
Right.
So, very good opportunity to get involved, to get started, and to meet one of the greatest mentors who's ever lived.
You're making me blush.
All right, guys. Well, today what we're going to talk about is the ins and outs of flipping houses at an elite level. There's people that flip houses, and there's people that flip at an elite level like Randall. And that's always fascinating to me to see how someone can grow a flipping business that large. He mentioned they're doing anywhere from approximately about 15 at any given time. Is that correct?
12 to 15, I think, is what we have currently. But
wow.
It's quite a few.
Yes, that is quite a few for sure. We'll also be discussing top questions you want to ask yourself if you think you want to get in the flipping game, because it does take a bit of risk in the beginning. Well, it probably takes a bit of risk every time, but in the beginning, when you don't know as much, I think it takes a little more risk. You're going to kind of take a leap of faith sometimes to just get started. We'll also be hearing from a nightmare story and the lesson that can be learned from that, and so much more. We're also going to be talking about Eternal Hope Nepal. So, Randall, somebody comes to you and says, I am looking to start doing start fixing and flipping houses. You're doing 15 at any given time. How do I just get started in one? What are three questions that I should consider to get started in this game?
Aside from finding the deal or finding the property, I would say the first thing is what financial resources do you have?
Okay.
How much money are you going to have to borrow? How much are you going to be able to bring yourself? The second one is, what experience do you have with flipping? Are you a builder? Have you built houses? Have you remodeled houses in the past? Or do you need to leverage the learning of somebody else?
Okay.
And then the third one would be, who is going to do your design? Because I've seen more unsuccessful house flips happen because somebody just ran wild with what they thought was wonderful.
Oh, yeah.
And so who's going to do your design and who's going to oversee it? Because that's really important. You need to do the things that make you money and not just be focused on, on things that you think are great. That's a
great point. So many people, my sister particularly, she called me up and says, hey, we're remodeling our home. Do you have any pointers? And I told her these are the things that you may want to consider if you're looking to appreciate your home and make it top dollar. Well, her taste isn't necessarily what's more of the modern taste today that's getting top dollar. Right. It's, she's going to kill me, but it's more of an old-fashioned taste. Browns and gold. Conservative. There you go. And it looks nice, but the day she goes to sell, if that day comes, she's not going to get top dollar for her house because the design isn't catered to the masses, it's catered to her. Right. And that's so critical that Randall mentioned that, because absolutely I have seen where young flippers get in and they do basically what they think looks great, and then they have difficulty selling it, and sometimes even repaint the color because they're like, oh, I should have done light gray from the begining, or whatever.
Yes, I saw a neon blue on an exterior on a house once, and I was like, that's really interesting.
That is really interesting. Yeah. Oh, man. Awesome. Well, a question I get asked all the time, and I'm sure you do too, is, okay, Yoshi, I've started educating myself, I've started studying, I get the formula, I can do the calculation on my phone, but how the heck do I find these opportunities? You're doing 15 right now. Do you mind just sharing a little bit about how some of these 15 came to you?
Sure. The networking is always your best way to find property. If you're out there and you're saying, I buy houses, or I'm looking to buy houses, amongst your friends, everybody knows at least 250 people. So somewhere amongst that 250 is somebody that either is selling a house or has a family member selling a house or a friend that's selling a house. We do a lot of things. We do door hangers. We do postcards. Surprisingly, over the last 15 years, some of our best deals have come off the multiple listing service.
Oh, interesting.
Which is, usually we want to cut that, middleman agent out.
Yeah.
But the deals where we've made hundreds of thousands of dollars has come from agents.
Wow.
And then, again, I've got them from Facebook. My neighbor's house, I bought a house 2 doors down. This old guy was moving into assisted living, and I walked over and said, hey, I'll list your house for free because you've been a good neighbor.
Yeah.
And he says, I'm worried it's in trashy condition, it's got junk, it needs repairs, I haven't touched it in 40 years, et cetera. And I said, well, I'll send somebody from my team over, and we'll make you an offer, and if the offer works for you, great, we'll buy it. But if it doesn't, we'll list it for free.
Oh, wow. That's so nice of you.
And so that we picked it up. They liked our offer, and so
great.
Now I own the house 2 doors down.
Oh, wow. That's excellent. Are you going to move into it?
No. I remodeled my own house about 7 years ago. I'm hoping not to have to do that again.
Right. Very cool. So there's just an array of different opportunities, but networking, you said, is probably the biggest one.
Probably the very best way.
I find that for myself as well. Tell everybody, I love your quote, don't be a secret agent, right? Yes. If you're a real estate agent, don't be a secret agent.
Don't be a secret agent. Don't be a secret home buyer.
Right. Don't be a secret home buyer. Exactly. Or, some people are a little hesitant to call themselves real estate investors. Don't be a secret real estate investor. No, that's awesome. So you're now finding them off the multiple listing services more often. Do you mind sharing a little bit about, because for a lot of people that I speak to, they have a hard time finding them on the MLS. Is there anything you're doing specifically, like maybe in the remarks, doing searches for handyman special, or are you just kind of setting up hot
Sure, you can
sheets?
search for handyman special or needs TLC or care or something like that, and you can have your agent search for that. But what I like to do and what we've done in the past is we'll carve out a specific area, like maybe Canyon Rim, where we're very familiar with the values.
Oh, yeah.
And we find out what's for sale up there, and we just make a lot of offers.
Very nice.
And we figure out what we can offer and repair the property and remain profitable on. But I don't think I've ever made more than 20 offers before getting an acceptance.
That is phenomenal. Ironically, on the last show, Jeff Brailio and I were talking about the ratio being about 20 to 1 in both of our experiences as well. So that's kind of cool that you've also confirmed that. Awesome. All right, so we're going to get into a nightmare story. I love the nightmare story because I get to learn from somebody else's mistake. I've sure had my fair share of nightmares, and it's where I learned the most. So you're not going to want to step away. Randall's going to share a nightmare story and the lesson to be learned, but we're going to cut to a commercial break right now, and stay tuned. With smartphones and technology making life a little easier, the Snap Leash has also been designed to make life a little easier for you and your pup. Whether you're on a stroll in the park, or possibly a walk through the city, or maybe even a hike up in the mountains, the Snap Leash is the perfect leash for you. The Snap Leash can easily and conveniently convert into 7 leashes in one, making the Snap Leash the most convenient leash in the world. What other leash do you know that is 7 leashes in one? With the Snap Leash having appearances on the Today Show in New York City, TV 47 in Dallas, Texas, and ABC 4 on Midday, Utah, you are definitely going to want to take a peek at what the Snap Leash can do for you and your best friend. Make life a little easier for you and your pup, and visit www.snapleash.com today. All right, guys, we are back. You are listening to K-Talk Radio 1640 AM. I am your host, Yoshi Shiraki, and we are talking with Randall and Usha Wall on flipping houses. Randall, I like hearing the nightmare story when I'm not the one who's been the nightmare topic.
Sure.
Because there's a lesson to be learned with every nightmare story, and I'd rather learn from someone else's mistakes than mine, because I've sure lost my fair share of money on mistakes.
No, for sure. There are some nightmare stories out there. By the way, I have the Snap Leash, and we love it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
So it's wonderful. When you ask me, about a nightmare story, when you've done over 500 remodels,
yes,
you can come up with a lot of nightmare stories. But I think I want to talk about the importance of getting title insurance.
Ooh, yes.
And that we had a good friend, a flipper here, he's now in South Carolina, but he did a lot of houses here locally. And he was an attorney, and he thought, I don't need to get title insurance. I'm going to save the $500 to $1,000 on these homes that I'm buying.
Yeah.
I don't need title insurance. And so what he did is he bought this house. He put maybe $30,000, $40,000 in repairs on it, and he got a buyer. And the buyer wanted a survey done. And I've only had that happen maybe once or twice in 15 years.
Yes.
But this one wanted a survey done and found that the house was like a foot or two on the neighbor's property.
Oh, wow.
And they went and talked to the neighbor, and the neighbor said, move it.
Oh, my gosh.
And so that was a real problem, and he didn't have, it had passed from person to person. Title insurance would have gone a long ways towards ameliorating that problem for him. We had a house that we flipped, I guess it's been 2 years ago, that we got ready to sell. We put, 40, 50,000 repairs into it, and all of a sudden it's got a notice of default on it.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, well, how's that happen? We're paying the mortgage.
Yeah.
What happened? Well, they had not recorded the previous owner's mortgage against that house. They'd recorded one against a house about 4 houses down the street.
Oh, wow.
And so he had skated with the money when they sold it, not paid off that other mortgage.
Oh, my gosh.
And so when he stopped paying the mortgage, then they, of course, put a notice of default on. Now, as far as I know, that's still undergoing litigation. It's been 2 or 3 years now.
Wow.
But we got our money out. We were able to sell the house, take our profits, because the title company insured us and said,
yes,
we'll handle it.
Got it. Thank goodness.
So I would say always, always, always get title insurance.
Yes. Holy cow. What happened with the house that the neighbor said move it?
I think they came to an accommodation, did a lot line adjustment, and some money changed hands, but I don't think any money was made on the project.
God, oh, no. We both know, without saying any names, an investor that did a flip up by the Capitol, how he extended his garage a little too far, and it blocked the neighbor's view. And they made them take it back a foot or two.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yes.
That's expensive.
Yes.
That's a nightmare.
Yeah. No, you really have to know what you're doing. And so probably the best thing is to get a mentor when you're doing your first flip.
Yes.
Maybe partner with somebody. I had a guy, Terry, who partnered with us. He didn't really know how to do it. And he says, look, I'll put, I've got this property. I'll put, money up.
Yep.
And so he put the first 30 grand in. We put the second, amount in. And then, we flipped it, and he watched what we did, so he was able to learn and see how it was done, and then he was able to go and do that himself, the next time out.
That's so smart. Do you remember a gentleman? He's an attorney by the name of Ken?
Yes.
Okay, he did that. His very first deal he ever locked under contract, he approached us. He approached Jeff Brailio, another attorney,
sure.
and said, if I wholesale this to you, can I watch the process and be part of the transaction, and then Jeff and I had partnered on it, and so he got to see the whole ins and outs of lining up contractors. We actually had to evict the person there. Was the seller was the mother of the person who lived there, who hadn't paid mom rent in over a year.
Right.
And the mom had said, if I could put him back where he came from, I would. And so she said, he's not my favorite child. And so she goes, but I don't have the heart to evict my own son. So she sold it to Ken, and hypothetically we went in and evicted him and went to the whole remodel. And
that's more common than you might imagine.
Yes.
We bought a house from an old lady who, she asked, well, how would it work? And we said, well, if we paid you this is what you'd net, et cetera.
Yeah.
And she said, that works for me. Can you close Friday? And it was in 2 days.
Oh my gosh.
And I said, absolutely. And I said, why the hurry? And she says, because my granddaughter wants to move in on Monday, and she doesn't take care of anything.
Oh, yes. It does. It's happened to me twice. So the other time was a son who evicted his dad. Sold it to us to evict his dad because he didn't have the heart to evict his dad, but his dad owed him thousands and thousands of dollars, and so he's like, I've just got to get my dad out of there now and recoup my money. Awesome. All right, so definitely lessons to be learned in the nightmare story. Randall mentioned a good thing. Get a mentor, whether that's partnering with somebody, hiring somebody, doing whatever it is that you need to do. Definitely hire or partner up with somebody who's been down the road before, so that you're less likely to make mistakes. A lot of the mistakes that I've made weren't necessarily at the beginning, and the gentleman we talked about who built his garage out too far, he's very seasoned. It's not like these are newbies making these mistakes. So if you are a newbie, your chances of mistakes are even higher.
Sure.
So definitely get a mentor. Okay, so we are going to take another commercial break. When we come back, we are going to talk about Eternal Hope Nepal. I'm really excited to hear about it. It's a fascinating, really cool organization that's run here locally in Utah, but services children in Nepal. So definitely stay tuned, and we will be right back. Hi, I'm Yoshi Shiraki, the author of the book, My Body's Just For Me, the book written for children to educate children on the prevention of child abuse. With the assistance of multiple-time best-selling author Richard Paul Evans, we are able to publish this book as a tool to help break the ice in an easy and innocent way to help children understand and learn how to speak up and communicate. I have been invited numerous times onto Good Things Utah to discuss the importance of good communication with your child in regards to abuse, and also to discuss how the book, My Body's Just For Me, is a great tool for every parent when having that tricky conversation with their children. For more information on the book, My Body's Just For Me, please visit www.protectourangels.com today. And remember, the more we focus on prevention, the less we have to focus on rehabilitation. All right, guys, you are listening to K-Talk Radio, 1640 AM. I am your host, Yoshi Shiraki, and we have Randall and Usha Wall today visiting as our special guests. And now I'm really excited because I want to learn more about Eternal Hope Nepal myself. I know about this charity, obviously, through you guys, and you guys are doing marvelous things. Can you please share with the listeners a little bit about what you guys are doing for, if I'm not mistaken, you call them slum kids? They live
children.
Slum children. Yes. Not a term we don't hear often in America, slum at all, anything slum,
Right.
but let alone slum children. It's very heartwarming, heartbreaking probably is the better word, to hear slum and children in the same sentence. And so what you guys are doing is amazing. So would one of you please share a little bit about what Eternal Hope Nepal is doing?
Sure. So basically, we take children on the streets of Nepal, and so they're mostly in the slums or some of the very poorest areas of Nepal as well. We surface some of those people as well. And we use Montessori methods to educate them because they're Dalits, which means the oppressed. And, I think Gandhi called them Harijan, the children of God, but it's the caste system, so it's the very lowest rung of the caste system over there. And so they don't have opportunities. The slums probably 10% literacy rate.
Wow.
And overall in Nepal, it's probably about 30 to 40% with women. But we go in there, we use Montessori methods, we educate them on the grounds because basically we just don't have... two reasons. One is we don't have the money to build buildings and schools. The second one is that the need is so great and we're covering so many areas that we teach them right on the ground. And
wow.
So we bring them up to grade level where we can enter them into a public school. Now, public schools are not free in Nepal. You have to pay for everything there.
Got it.
And so we enter them into school. We continue to mentor them and help them, and several of our kids that have been in the program for 7 years or 8 years are at the top of their class now.
Wow.
Which is good.
Yes.
We have 12 students going from UVU that are going over to teach here in a couple of weeks.
That's awesome.
But we educate, our primary mission is educate. We provide 3 health camps a year, which is dental, medical. We do outreach to several thousand children through our health camps.
Wow.
We provide vitamins. 66% of all children in Nepal, according to UNICEF, are stunted, and it's because they don't have proper nutrition.
Wow.
And so we do that, and menstrual hygiene is a big thing. We've partnered with Days for Girls International. My wife founded that in Nepal a number of years ago,
Holy
and it's
cow.
running very well currently. And so we've helped in partnership about 40,000 young women with menstrual hygiene training and kits and things like that.
That is a lot. Wow, that's huge. So you've got some gals from Utah Valley University that are going to be going down. They're going to be teaching.
Yes.
How long will they be there?
So they're going to be there for 2 weeks.
Oh wow.
And so they'll be there, and it's part of their core curriculum. They get credit for it.
Got it.
And it's Usha, what is it? It's the Department of Psychology.
Psychology and Social Work.
Okay.
So social work, and they'll work with the children and under the direction and with the assistance of our teachers.
Very cool.
And so it's really pretty cool. But if I can go into a little bit of what we found. So I married my wife.
Please.
She was a doctor. Used to walk past these slums and couldn't stand seeing these children.
Oh, yes.
And so she quit her job and started, educating slum children. She's like, I've got to do something. And she was the senior administrator of the largest teaching hospital in Nepal.
Wow.
2,000 students. And so she gave it up, and everybody thought she was crazy. And we got married 4 years ago, and we had very few kids. And then it was... it doubled, and then it doubled again, and then it doubled again.
Oh, my goodness.
And so I started hyperventilating.
Yes.
I was like, okay, how are we going to afford this?
Right.
Because most of the funding was coming from us.
Oh, my goodness.
And so I thought, okay, we can, for $20, we can sponsor a kid. That'll take care of that kid and maybe a little extra to help some of the kids that aren't sponsored.
Right.
And so I posted the picture of 2 little girls on Facebook, because we're about probably 70% girls.
Okay.
And said, who could sponsor these kids for $20 a month? And 4.5 minutes later, Dakota Worrell, a young 23-year-old at that time.
He's incredible.
Yeah, real estate investor said, I will.
Wow.
And then 10 of his friends did. And so we have about 180 out of 500 that are enrolled in our program fully that are sponsored.
Wow.
But what's great is every year we do a trip to Nepal.
Yep.
For 2 weeks. We spend a week working with kids and doing, charity work. And then we spend a week sightseeing. And so if you've sponsored a kid, a child, you get to go meet that child.
Wow.
And enjoy Nepal and see the site.
That is fantastic. And Dakota's been with you guys several times now, right?
Yes, every time we go.
Amazing.
He's on our board of directors. We're a US 501c3, so.
That is fascinating. So, 2 questions. The UVU girls, or I don't know if they're all girls. I think you said they're girls.
1 boy and 11 girls.
1 boy and 11 girls. The UVU students. Let's call it the UVU students.
Yeah.
Can other college students, whether they're going to Utah, BYU, can they also get involved?
Yes, of course. If they contact us, we can talk about that.
Okay, very cool. And so I wanted to, just in case there's anyone listening who's like, I want to do that, who's involved in university. Sure. The second one is this annual trip that you go on that we just said Dakota's joined you every single time. If somebody wanted to participate in that, go to Nepal, sponsor a child, see the sights, kill 2 birds with 1 stone, doing great humanity work and a great vacation, how do they get in touch with you guys or get involved in something like that? Is that possible?
Absolutely. So they would just reach out to us, to my wife, Usha or myself, and we would set that up with them, and they could come join us. And people always ask, well, how much is it?
Yeah.
Including airfare, it's about $1,900 is what we figure.
Got it.
And so most people are able to do it for $19. Some do it for less. It depends. You can eat for $5 a day or $20 a day. So it depends on how much you eat.
Yeah. Right.
We don't make money on it.
Right.
And you can tell why we don't do that.
Yeah, we just want to make sure that our charity is like family.
Yes.
So that we know what's going on. And most of our directors, like all of us, almost all of us, are volunteers.
Oh, got it.
And locally, like our directors who are doctors, engineers, pharmacists, they're all volunteers. They have their own secular work where they earn, and they volunteer at Eternal Hope, Nepal.
Very cool.
So you might have a pathologist acting as a tour guide, as well as working in the schools or working on the streets. I mean, literally, we teach 50 to 100 kids in a group on the ground.
Wow.
And you'll get a chance to help do that and interact with them. And it's it's amazing because I've gone with other charities, but you pay $2,000 or $3,000 plus your airfare.
Yes.
And so a year ago we had a man bring his 4 children with him.
Oh man.
And so there's no way they could have afforded $40,000, which is what it would have been at the
right
to get 6 people over there. But doing it this way, it was very affordable, and his kids was able to, children, even the young ones, who are 9, 10, 12 years old,
right,
can benefit from seeing what it's like in the rest of the world.
Oh, absolutely. See how blessed they are.
Yeah.
My sister served an LDS mission in a very poor part of Brazil, and she said it was the most humble. She grew up in Conwood Heights and
yes,
had a car when she was 16, brand new, fresh off the lot, and went over there, and she said she was just humbled on the luxuries that she took for granted, as a 21, I think at the time girls went at 21, I can't remember. She goes, just humbled by the luxury she had for her first 21 years, thinking it was just normal. That's just what everybody has, right? Everybody gets a car when they turn 16, and sure enough, she goes over there, and they're eating the places that she was serving. Some of them were even eating bugs, right? As a snack. And she was
protein.
Yes. And she, dirt floors. And anyways, I think it's good for people to go see that. Like you said, 9 and 10-year-olds, that's good to see what they have versus what they don't have, so they can be more grateful, right? I think that's important.
I think a part of it is, is seeing the challenges that, it makes them aware of challenges. So we talk about 9-year-olds going over there. We have 9-year-olds that are married in Nepal.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
And so one of our, part of our mission is to educate the families and the children. Hey, hey, do not marry your children off at 9.
Yes.
You know, it's they're going to be in a life of extreme poverty. You were in poverty, your parents were in poverty, your grandparents were in poverty. If you want to break this cycle,
right,
we need to educate your children.
Right.
And we've had a lot of success with that, because initially when we went over there and we would see this happening, we would contact the police. And what would the police say, Usha?
We don't care about these Dalit children.
Oh my gosh. Wow. That's heartbreaking.
Yeah, they would say they're, low caste, we don't care.
Wow.
And so we just have realized that we have to go right to the source.
Yes.
Right to the family. And so we've had a number of these children where they married them off at 9, but their parents said, we're not sending them to their husband's home.
Right.
Until they're, 18, until they're older.
Got it.
Until they finish school. And so that was a huge win for us.
Gotcha.
And another good news is we are educating the mothers now.
Oh, nice.
Since 2 years. And the mothers are so excited to be educated and to learn to read and write. And we are also teaching them how to be self-reliant by teaching them how to sew. They produce the Days for Girls kits in Nepal.
Wow.
And they earn their living. And we have also started small businesses for them.
Oh my gosh. Wow. You helped somebody start a sandwich place out there, right?
Yeah, so
I might be wrong.
No, it was kind of funny. But
Okay.
I brought a sandwich. So I've been to 75 countries.
Okay.
I've spent like 2 to 3 months out of the country probably for the last 30 years.
Okay.
And there's only 2 sandwiches which are unique in the entire 75 country pantheon that I've been to.
Okay.
And one is it's an open-faced sandwich in Hungary that's a work of art, and the other one is from Helena, Montana, which is called the Staggering Ox.
Okay.
And it's like in a cup, but I thought, I think this would really go in Nepal. And so I brought the bread pans. They're like $200 for these crimped loaf bread pans, fancy bread pans.
Uh-huh.
I took them over there, took our friend that we have in this tiny place about the size of this, a little bit bigger than this room,
Yeah.
Here. And it ended up being such a hit, it made it on national television, 30 million people.
Oh,
Coke
cow.
sponsored it.
Wow.
Good things, Nepal, and this was just, it was an amazing sandwich. So yeah, we've helped with that business.
That is incredible. That is incredible. And that's got to feel good for you and for them to feel like they can now make a living, right?
Sure.
You're teaching these people how to be entrepreneurs and not suffer necessarily or wait for help or...
So our best success, though, Yoshi, wasn't sandwiches. It was something much simpler.
Oh, please.
And so we had a lady Lori Nelson Burke up in Oregon, who was sponsoring a child. And so when you sponsor a child for $20, you're going to see 1 or 2 times a month, you're going to get a Facebook update, pictures,
nice.
video, this is what your kid's doing, etc. And we tell you about what's happening in your family.
Yeah.
Well, the father died.
Oh, no.
And so you had a mother with a young, how many children? 3 young girls. And, couldn't afford, to do anything and live. And so Lori says, well, let's help her out. And so she sent $400.
Got it.
And with that $400, we were able to set her up in a business that she thought she could handle, which was actually cooking corn, so roasting corn on the street.
Wow.
And boiling eggs.
Holy cow.
And so she was able to make a couple $100 a month doing that.
My gosh.
Which is what a nurse makes in Nepal.
Wow.
And so now she's able to support her family, and, they're eating every day instead of every other day.
Amazing. That's very cool. A lot of these people, if I'm not mistaken, I remember in a previous conversation, a lot of the people that will go with you to Nepal, you go once a year with your, right? And for like 6-7 weeks?
Yeah, we go for 6 or 7 weeks, but we usually will spend 2 weeks with the people that want to go there. So we spend, the first week is spent working with the children.
Yep.
And doing different projects, everything from, we did, this last time we do a menstrual hygiene training and distribution of kits, writing paper. They don't have writing paper in the schools. They're too poor, and so everything is done by memory.
Wow.
And so we'll have tens of thousands of booklets printed up, and then we have our volunteers help us distribute those to the various schools, as well as our own children.
My goodness.
Backpacks is a place to put the books. We've had them help with the medical, helping check the kids in, weigh them, measure them, see how tall they are, and checking growth, because we're starting to see advantages of gummy bear vitamins.
Oh, wow.
And so, because so our kids start at 4 years old.
Okay.
And so it's hard for them to swallow any pills. They just don't do it. But gummy bears, they love them.
Sure. So do my kids.
And so we had a doctor that shot over there, and he says, these kids are growing. They're actually doing well, and we've been feeding them eggs and other high-fat foods, and so he says they're not at risk malnourished anymore in this group of 500. They're actually progressing out of that. And
Holy cow.
So it's wonderful.
That is wonderful. I've been on your website, and there's videos and photos of I'm assuming Americans. They were blonde.
Yes.
They're teaching these children, and it's very touching to see that. A lot of them, if I'm not mistaken, happen to be a lot of your equity agents. Is that correct?
Yes. So we have a number of equity agents. Dave Royster, Patty Royster.
Oh, yes.
They actually went over. We met Dave with his 2 children as they were doing the Everest Base Camp trek.
No way.
Yes. And so we met with them before and helped cover a couple bases, like make sure that they had anti-diarrheal medicine, which came in handy, by the way.
Yes.
But his son stayed for a week after their trip to teach carpentry skills.
Oh, my gosh.
To the boys in our program. And his daughter, Lauren, stayed for...
about a month.
Holy cow.
And so she worked, we sent her to a village.
Okay.
And she worked with this Chepang village, which is some of the poorest of the poor in Nepal.
Wow.
And did distribution of warm clothing. She taught every day.
She learned lots of Nepali.
Really?
Lots of Nepali.
Wow.
But she lived there in the village and got, an experience that she just wouldn't get anywhere else. And what did she say that it cost her for food?
She said I could live there in that village for $40 per month.
Oh, my gosh.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Amazing.
So it depends on what you eat and how much you eat.
Yes.
She was eating like Nepalese, and I was shocked.
Wow. $40 a month. That's amazing. That is awesome. Very cool. So then just out of curiosity, where do they stay? So she was there for a month. Is it a hotel? Is it a...
No. So she was actually staying in a parsonage.
Okay.
And so there's a church there. What's funny is this group came to us because we're non-denominational.
Okay.
Our founders are Hindu, Buddhist, Christian, etc.
Yeah.
And this group came and says, we've been praying for someone to help us out here because, we don't have a good education. We've got, 300 children.
Yes.
And we've heard that you guys do this. And so we showed up there and we were surprised that in this village with, like dirt floors and everything else, there was this nice church.
Wow.
Out in the middle of nowhere. And apparently a group from Korea had helped them build a church. And so up in the upper level of the church, they have a room, and so our teachers stay there.
Oh, wow.
And so she actually stayed in the upper level of the church or the parsonage, and it was really good. But when they come, if you were to come with us, let's say, in November, come the 1st of November, you would stay in a hotel.
Got it.
And we would put you in a nice hotel, and it's $20 or $25 a night.
Oh, that's
it's typically
very affordable.
Yes, there are hotels for $6 a night, and people say, "Well, we saw this online," but a lot of times the plumbing doesn't work.
Yes.
We try to keep our American friends away from, raw sewage and cockroaches. And
that's very nice of you.
Yes. And air conditioning is a big plus when it's 100 degrees.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
What is the weather like there? Just out of curiosity.
So Nepal is very varied. It's you have the plains where we've got rhinos, elephants, alligators, all those kind of things.
Oh.
All the way up to 100 below on the upper peaks of Everest.
Oh, sure.
8 tallest mountains in the world are all in Nepal.
Oh, I had no idea. Wow. The first 8?
Yes, the top 8.
Holy cow.
Yeah. So with Everest being the very tallest.
Yes.
Now you've got Lhotse and you've got a bunch of these other mountains that are extremely tall, but it's a great time for anybody that wants to go because we go on a jungle safari.
Oh, nice.
And that we've gotten within 20 feet of the rhinos because when you're on the back of an elephant.
Oh, Oh, wow.
It's good. They'll see rhinos, they'll see alligators. If you're really lucky, I haven't seen one yet, but some of the people have. You'll see a tiger.
Really?
Because there's a lot of tigers in Nepal.
Oh my goodness.
And then we'll go to Pokhara, which is the gateway to the Himalayas, so you can do trekking. They have some amazing treks.
Wow.
Or my wife in Dakota jumped off of, I think it was Fishtail, which is the high peak.
Oh, okay.
And paraglided down to the lake down below.
Oh,
and so,
fun.
We've got pictures of them up at maybe 10,000, 12,000 feet. I mean, they're really high up there.
Wow.
Riding these parachutes. And tell them what they had you do off the mountain. How did they get you airborne, Usha? You had to run. You had to run off the mountain, didn't you?
Oh, yes. For the paragliding, yes. I mean, that was my first time, and they make us run, but I was so scared that I just sat down. and Dakota ran so fast, but he's very light too, right?
Sure.
And he flew high up in the cloud, and he was like, I could just see cloud and nothing else.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it's amazing that Nepal is the only country I've ever been to where the mountains are taller than the clouds.
Wow. Wow. That really puts a perspective on how tall the mountains are.
Foothills in Utah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Amazing. So, how many kids do you guys have right now that are being sponsored through Eternal Hope Nepal? And how quickly, it sounds like you guys are growing quick.
It's been doubling almost every year.
Yeah.
So we have sponsored children. We have about 180.
Okay.
We have 500 children.
Got it.
So we picked up 300 in the last 8 months, I guess. And so we're working to get them sponsored. So if you go onto our website, Eternal Hope Nepal,
yep,
you can pick a child and sponsor a child there for $20 a month, and you'll get information on their family, what we're doing, what they're doing, how they're doing in school. And we keep regular update.
And people might wonder what $20 does for the kid.
Yes.
So the $20 will help the kid with education, uniform, nutritional supplementation, and healthcare.
Wow, all of that.
Yes.
Holy cow.
So it's amazing. And we're so blessed. We have had so much help. Christina Moser from GT Title.
Yeah.
She donated about 1,000 pounds of gummy bear vitamins.
Oh my gosh.
And so that was wonderful. For Life Transfer Factor has donated a ton of protein drinks.
Wow.
And so every time we have a group go to Nepal, we ask them to take one suitcase full of things. And
yes,
your mother was so kind to donate suitcases, and some of your friends. And
yes,
it's been wonderful because we need large suitcases.
Yes. If you're listening and you've got some big, large suitcases that you don't use, you could contact me. You can go to utahhomesweethome.com, and my contact information's on there. Reach out to me. I'll come pick them up. When do you need these by? When are the girls, the students
they're
going?
Leaving March 1st.
March 1st.
So if we could get them not later than the third week of February, that would be great.
That would be amazing. So if you've got some large suitcases, please reach out to me. I will come get them, and we can pack them with vitamins, clothes.
We have a ton of vitamins, clothes, and other things. If they can just give us suitcases, we're happy to fill them.
Perfect. Awesome. Okay, that's great. So now, basically, you mentioned some people will go for 2 weeks, some people will go for longer. Do some people go for less? When they join you guys in November?
Yeah, so we actually have one of my agents, as you might mention,
yeah,
he says he's going to do the base camp trek in April. And he said he thinks he has 2 days, and asked if we could put them to work for 2 days.
Oh, nice.
And so he's got him and a friend, and they're working with Operation Underground Railroad, which we've done work with in the past.
Oh, yeah.
And so we've got the Women's Literacy Center, we've got distributions where we need big, strong guys to, haul, writing paper and backpacks. We've got one kid that is a karate expert, and so he'll teach karate for a couple of days. The boys love
nice.
that.
Just
things that the kids don't ordinarily get to experience.
That is fantastic. The teachers that are teaching these kids, are they full-time teachers, or are they being taught like Monday through Friday, or what's kind of that schedule?
So that's a great question. Go ahead, Usha.
Yeah, we have full-time teachers as well as part-time teachers, and we also involve the interns from the local colleges.
Oh, got it.
From social work and other backgrounds. who want to work for us and learn how to teach.
Got
so
it.
We do that, and we have wonderful friends here in Utah who are training through Skype to
No way.
teachers every week.
Really?
So we're able to do training from Utah to Nepal via Skype.
That is incredible. I had no idea. That you gotta love technology. So you're sharing with the teachers, educating them, teaching, training them, and then they get to train the kids.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. That is phenomenal. I love that it's Utah based, but making a difference so far away.
It's amazing, and we have had we get help from Australia, from other countries.
Oh wow.
What's been wonderful though is we don't have any paid administration. So people always say, well, how much goes to administrators?
Yeah.
The only people paid are our teachers.
Oh, got it.
And they don't get paid a lot, but they get paid well for Nepal. But a full-time teacher makes about $300 a month.
Gotcha.
And so that's been something that has been. People always ask us, well, how much is what's your overhead? Well, I don't get paid. Usha doesn't get paid.
Right.
None of our board members, Dakota, anybody gets paid. We all volunteer.
That is very cool.
People might wonder, why are we so passionate about this work? This work is so addictive. When you help people, you're so happy and joyful that you just want to continue that.
Yes.
And I think I have transmitted that to my husband too. He loves Eternal Hope Nepal and what we do.
Yes. Oh, well, and Randall was probably already addicted to helping.
Yes.
Yes. And he was so quick with this new addiction.
Yes. That's very cool because you've helped a lot of people here locally. Now you get to take your generosity across the world.
It's wonderful, and we've had some real blessings in the last year because, like I said, money is always a problem with a charity, especially a small charity.
Right.
And I do something where somebody will contact me and say, hey, we would like to sell our house and donate the money.
Wow.
To Eternal Hope Nepal, for the commission.
Yeah.
And so we will, when people contact us, we'll donate 100% of the commission. Wow. From selling their house to Eternal Hope Nepal. And, we don't do a lot of those, but we did one or two last year.
Oh, that makes a difference.
So if you make, $5,000 or $10,000 each. Time depending on the house, that's wonderful.
Absolutely.
And so we've enjoyed that. It's been a way to help supplement vitamins and other things.
Absolutely. So out of curiosity, how are you guys growing so quick? Just word of mouth? People in Nepal go, oh my gosh, these people are getting helped? And
yes, the people who are volunteering in Nepal, from Utah and other parts of the world. Mm-hmm. So when they experience that, they come home and they're like, oh, this is so good. They tell people it's word of mouth. And I'll just be assured, one of the teachers, she's in her 60s from Bountiful.
Oh, okay.
She came back home and she says life was never the same after I volunteered there.
Wow.
And I started asking why I was so blessed and why there's so much need there.
Yeah.
And later she found the answer that, I'm blessed because I need to share my blessing with these children.
And so the kids are growing. Our program is growing because people hear about us. It's word of mouth.
Got it.
But they're friends in the slums.
Oh,
so the last time we took, I think, we had 12 people. We've taken between 12 and 18 people with us.
Yeah.
This year, I think it's going to be more. I think we might have 20 or 30.
Got it.
But the kids come running.
Gotcha.
They see the teachers coming into the slums and into those areas, and the children come running.
Wow.
And they are so well behaved. I was kind of a screw up when I was a little kid. I would fidget, I couldn't sit still. I'd always want to bunk class,
Yeah.
But it's amazing when you see 50 children in rows sitting on the grass with some writing paper doing their lessons, and nobody is screwing up. Nobody is cutting up.
Wow.
They are so focused. They want to learn so badly because they know that it's the difference between, $1 a day and not eating all the time.
Right.
And being able to support themselves and get out of the slum areas.
Amazing. I've seen pictures where you even had adults, maybe the parents of kids that were also learning. Yes. Is that true?
So we've started a dedicated program to teach the mothers, which are interested now, and fathers if they want to, but they're usually not humble enough, but the mothers want to.
Yes.
But initially we'd be teaching the kids, and their parents and family members would want to learn too, and so they would sit at the back of the group try and learn as well.
Amazing.
And so we've opened a women's literacy center, one in Kathmandu, and then the other one in Chitwan, where most of our projects are.
Holy cow! How is that? So most of the children's mothers then are also wanting to learn. Are there some that are like, it's okay, we don't?
Yes, some they don't want to, but those who are very interested, we teach them.
That is so awesome. And who teaches the parents?
The same teachers.
Oh, okay. Very cool. And then you're teaching them through Skype still.
Yes.
We educate the teachers, but the teachers are actually on the ground there because they don't have the internet in their home.
Oh, sure, of course. Yeah.
But it's and it's just a blessing, to be able to see the growth, because every time I go, there's a new need that I see that we need to address.
Right.
So 3 years ago, I went and I saw about 3 or 4% of the kids were going blind.
Oh my gosh.
And it's it's weird. It's like a shiny eye, I call it, but it's night blindness from lack of vitamin A.
Oh, wow.
Something so simple. So I told Usha, I said, obviously the government programs aren't reaching these kids.
Right.
We need to.
Right.
And so that's when we started bringing over vitamins.
Got it.
And then, we couldn't afford very much. We had to focus on education first because that changes everything. But as we got more money, then we started bringing snacks and food and sponsors.
Right.
Because these kids would be in school, because they're in school 6 days a week.
Yes, for 8 hours.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
8 hours. Wow.
Yeah, that's at the public schools. So
got it.
But they didn't have money for food.
Oh my goodness.
And so you'd have little kids, 5, 6 years old crying.
Oh my gosh.
Because they're hungry. And and so every time I go, it tugs at my heart.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
We do something different. And so each time we grow, we get more funds and we're able to do more.
That's great. What would you say is the main goal for Eternal Hope Nepal? How because you've obviously built a business empire. I mean, for those listeners who tuned in late and missed Randall's bio, it took about 2 hours to get through that. But Randall has an enormous fixing and flipping business, enormous brokerage, equity. What's the goal with Eternal Hope Nepal?
My business empire, I'm blessed with enormous help and great help. I couldn't do what I do without all of the people that support me. Trevor and Josh and Alan and, William and Ingrid and everybody else.
Yes.
But our goal in Nepal is to increase our education. Because I've been with a lot of charities, and I've worked with, there's the one, company, if you buy a pair of shoes, they'll give you a pair.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so well-intentioned. But I worked in Guatemala. And after 5 years, they moved from the village, and 5 years later, there was nobody selling shoes, repairing shoes. There was nobody, raising cows for shoe leather. There was, the industry was decimated.
Right.
And the same was true for, there was another group in Nepal that a church was donating 1 million eggs.
Wow.
And so that was really wonderful. It's helpful.
Yep.
Not in Nepal, in Guatemala, and it was, Haiti.
Got it.
And where we'd done some work, but after 3 or 4 years, they took their eggs elsewhere.
Oh, got it.
And then there's no poultry farmers. There's no eggs. There's, it was a major problem.
Got it.
And so I realized that if you want to change things, you have to educate the kids. You've got to get them to where they can learn how to fish themselves and become independent.
Wonderful.
So our goal is to have kids that are independent. If we can get them through, 12 years of school, they can get a job that will support themselves.
Got it.
And their family. And we're planning on moving to Nepal in a couple of years and starting up some businesses where we can train those kids and help them earn money and do good things. So that's our end goal. Our end goal is the education and self-sufficiency of those children and their families, because we're educating both.
Wonderful. Very, very cool. Well, in closing, it's not much, but my wife and I wanted to make a $1,000 donation to Eternal Hope Nepal.
That's huge.
Thank you.
That's huge.
I wish it was more.
No, that's huge.
No.
Actually, thank you so much.
Oh, no, thank you guys for joining me. I really appreciate it. How can people get in touch with you guys? Through email, phone number, website?
Sure. You can, email would be info@eternalhopenepal.com.
Wonderful.
So info@eternalhopenepal.com. And you can call my wife, Dr. Usha, at 385-227-5269, 385-227-5269.
Wonderful. Well, Dr. Usha Randall Wall, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. Again, you guys are listening to K-Talk Radio. This is the show Utah Home Sweet Home, and I hope you guys all have a spectacular rest of the day. Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you, Yoshi. It's been wonderful, and thank you for the donation. That means so much.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure.
That $1,000 would provide writing materials to 1,000 children for a year.
Oh, my gosh. Wow. What we take granted for here. Thank you. Awesome. Well, thanks so much.